Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another video. Big news came through today with updates coming in both probably by the end of the year, but also next year. These changes will be huge for the game and to all players out there, from the very beginning players, but also to the end game players. It will affect what you have on your account already, but what you'll also be getting in your account in the future. So let's get started. I'll cover these news. These were provided to us through the content creator program to share with you guys. You might have seen some videos already, but I wanted to cover it with my own thoughts. And let's get started. So the time in game, time spent in game, they want to help us improve into that, and they want to give us the opportunity to have background multi-battles work as we are doing arenas and live arenas. Okay, they've mentioned live arena, but I'm also imagining arenas as well. So with this update, this will be coming early next year. I'm expecting late January, possibly beginning of February, because January is where I believe Christmas is for the Ukrainians, which you guys know. Raid is developed by Ukrainians, and I believe it's going to be early February, maybe late January. I don't think they'll just throw the update and then go on holidays. Okay. And with that being said, those background multi-battles will be huge because there's a lot of time spent with us just throwing in multi-battles right in the background and then having to just wait on our accounts. We can do champion training. We can do leveling up of gear. We can move our stuff around, but we can't do more battles. If they actually enable us to do any of the arenas while we have that, this will allow us to basically save up a lot of time, and that's what basically is not allowing me to enjoy the areas of the game, which are the arenas. Because of that, I would also want to see maybe siege battles also being part of that, since any arena battles basically being allowed while we're doing background multi-battles. That will be huge and will allow us to save time. So that is hopefully coming. This was requested basically before it was actually live, the background multi-battles. It was something that other games have, which are grindy like Raid. They have that already, but Raid, I feel like they just didn't want to introduce that at the same time. So there's that is coming into the game. It's huge. I like it. As long as they have it in their plans, I'm all good for it. Okay. Next one up, gear management and accessory space. Managing gear and accessory space has become more challenging, especially with recent additions. This has been discussed, and an extension of accessory and gear slots is planned for the future update. Another improvement shaped by your feedback. This, I don't think, is a solution to the problem. Honestly, guys, they are just extending the pain. Okay, and what is the pain? Basically, many players out there might have a similar situation to mine, where I have tons of gear in my inbox, and this is mostly accessories. At least for myself, I find myself that accessories, especially stone skin and protection, are the ones I keep the most, regardless of what stats they have, because that allows me to introduce the set bonuses to my champions, and these allow for PvP gearing, and also the 9-piece protection is huge. So regardless of the stats, if it's an attack percent or whatever ring, I don't care. I'll throw it on a support as long as they're getting the 9-piece bonus. So this is a big issue that I have. Like, I have full inventory almost, and then I have lots of gear that is just sitting in the mailbox. They'll extend this to, let's say, 1700, 1800. Great. Okay, that's gonna be not a long-term solution, especially if they ever introduce the last faction into the game. The last faction in the game opens up the requirement for more slots, especially for accessories, which are those bound to specific factions. Okay, that is a big problem. I want them to actually realize that this problem exists. Like with gear, I don't have the same problem. I manage my gear, and I'm very strict with it, and I throw gear on champions left and right. We have free gear removal, so you can use mules to do that, but it's not honestly a solution. With accessories, though, it's still a problem, but it's not as easy. You can only equip 3 pieces of accessories per champion per faction. So there's that. What I want them to see is then realize maybe some sets need to be reconfigured. Okay, maybe they can be used by multiple factions. I know that is breaking the game basically, And I don't think they'll ever do that, but I want to see a different solution other than just adding more slots. Okay, adding more slots will not solve the problem. Honestly, guys, I don't see how that will solve the problem at all. The next one up is Live Arena. Several Live Arena requests originated directly from you, and some of them are already underway. Friendly battles are officially on the roadmap, so in the future, you'll be able to challenge friends and clanmates directly. And yes, Live Arena will become available 24/7 in the coming months, offering more flexibility for everyone. So in the coming months, I'm thinking summer 2026. Okay, they're not saying early next year, so summer of summer of 2026 is most likely what is coming. But friendly battles will be huge. All right, this will allow us to introduce maybe tournaments, friendly tournaments between players. They'll allow us to have more variety in battles, and the ability to have 24/7 live arenas also allows us to basically go in there whatever time slot and just try and find players to fight. And especially since they've just upped the limits on where you can be in arenas and you can drop to the lower tiers, it's basically become where all players will be basically eventually fighting in gold. That being said, I kind of like this. I like this a lot. The friendly tournaments is going to be great. Friendly battles are going to be great. You can fight your friends. You can fight your clanmates. It's going to be fun. And that's basically it. I don't know if they'll introduce some tournaments made by Plarium. That would be very nice to do. A way to promote this as a huge thing of their game. This will be basically saying we have the best game in this genre, and this is it. We'll have huge competitions between players, and they'll hopefully start it with content creators just so you can get some familiar faces, and then maybe they'll do something more with actual players and not just content creators, with actual players who, what I mean is you guys, okay, not just me and Scratch or Hell Hades and whoever is up for it. So I'm not saying I'm the person for live area, not even close, but I'm just saying, just giving you guys an example. So Siege, next one up. The concerns about Siege were reviewed and discussed. I'm happy to inform that testing defense teams will become possible in one of the future updates, and we hope that will help you and your clans plan and define strategies before battle begins. Honestly, the Siege is very nice. It's a very challenging mode. I enjoy it more than I thought I would at the start. And I'm not a person who makes teams, right? I'm not a person who will think of the next best defense team. There's tons of players out there, especially in our clan. I've found they're basically discussing siege battles every time they pop up, the siege defenses, and these guys enjoy the game mostly because of that. All right, the way that they'll allow their different champions to be mixed and matched together in order to make the best team possible and to fight the enemy clans. I think siege battles are also huge. PvP is amazing in this game in the sense of there's different combinations that you can do with champions. It's just obviously the pay to win factor is there, but it's in every single part of the game, in every single part of these mobile games, okay, where there's purchasing of gear and all that. Carrying on, relics. So you spoke about relics, and one of your concerns was how difficult it is to understand what's happening in arena and siege battles since their introduction. This was brought to the team's attention, and an in-battle indicator for relics is currently under consideration. Additionally, a rebalancing of some of the weaker relics is planned for next year. So what does that mean? Basically, rebalancing of relics opens up the possibility for not just the legendary relics to be great, but also the smaller ones, the rare ones, the epic ones to have uses. Okay, in terms of my collection, I have lots of them, and I've sacrificed lots of relics in order to upgrade my better ones, namely the wands. Okay, these I found are the most used, I would say, for PvP, and there's others just clear winners in terms of that, but there's others that are just clearly used as fodder. Okay, these are basically sacrificed for just getting your good relics higher up, which, I mean, there's some sense to that. So I'm not expecting every single one of the relics to be, even like the small ones, to be rebalanced, but I do expect some of them to make some sense. Okay, some of the relics to make some more sense in the sense of using them and have more usability than they had before. Okay, You can't just have Erethi Coronet be the one for debuffers. In terms of damage, they might introduce something else that kind of makes sense and brings them comparatively in terms of just power. Okay, next one up, the IP integration and empowerment. So what they're doing with this one is basically we had the Turtles limited time event, and many players out there actually managed to get duplicates of the Turtles, and unfortunately they couldn't empower them because empowering the Turtles was basically requiring different champions. Some players I saw, like I was on accounts helping them out, and I saw like 2 Leos on there, and they couldn't empower one Leo with the other. I mean, yeah, you can use 2 Leos in a team. I'm just saying you couldn't empower one Leo with the other. You had to get Shu Zhen, which is insanity to use a Shu Zhen for Leo, especially if you have like only 2 maybe, because there's definitely uses for 2 of them, one for PvE, one for PvP setups. And that's it. Basically, in the future, they'll do that. If you get duplicates, you'll be able to, in a limited manner, or maybe not in a limited manner, but just carrying on, be able to empower them. That would be very, very nice. And I do expect lots of future introductions of IP coming into the game where you'll be able to get something that is maybe you know it from a different game, from cartoons and all that. And if they ever do a Dragon Ball Z, I'm spending to get that. I'm spending to get Goku in Raid Shadow Legends for sure. So, Altar of Souls, the final one, guys. Altar of Souls, your request for shorter merchant refresh times was brought to the table, and it's happening. In an upcoming update, the merchant will start refreshing 4 times per day instead of every 12 hours, giving you more opportunities to encounter the souls you've been waiting for. This is, frankly, much needed. But what I told them in the past, guys, we need a lock button here, like this, right? We need that in the market. The 4 times refresh is very nice, right? Yeah, I'll be waiting for that one champion to pop up, but give me a lock icon so I can lock the soul there so I can get it when I do have the resources, right? I can't just see it and then see my resources, see I don't have 300 Immortal licenses and be like, oh my god, I have to wait until January of 2026 again with my luck that I'll be able to get that soul, right? So we need that instead of the 6 time slots. But I guess they still want you to be checking it all the time and all that, but it still makes it unfortunate that they haven't thought of that. So these are the changes that are coming, guys. I think these are very nice. They didn't give us a specific time slot when these are introduced. I am guessing it's gonna be next year for all of these. Some of them they say in the most recent update, in an upcoming update. So like the Altar of Souls things that I just mentioned in the last one, it could be by the end of the year, but I don't know. Hopefully they'll just give us a Void Legendary Fusion for Christmas. That was it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, leave your comments down below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.